The late afternoon sun hung low over Maple Grove, casting long shadows across manicured lawns and pastel houses. A gentle hum of sprinklers filled the air, but the tranquility was a lie, ready to shatter. Ethan's hand shook as he gripped the pistol, aiming it at Jack's chest. His finger hovered over the trigger, sweat beading on his brow. The barrel glinted, catching the light and flashing into Jack's squinting eyes. Behind Ethan, the idyllic cul-de-sac stood in mocking contrast to the chaos unfolding. Sirens screamed in the distance, tires screeched, and black tactical trucks roared into the street, tearing apart the suburban calm. Ethan froze, his gun still raised, mouth open mid-threat, like a man caught in a storm he couldn't comprehend. Within seconds, armored SWAT officers swarmed with lethal precision, rifles drawn, voices booming. "Drop it! Hands up!" The pistol clattered to the pavement, and Ethan's bravado crumbled. Jack, heart pounding, muttered under his breath, "All this over a patch of grass." Just hours earlier, it had been an ordinary summer day. Jack had been mowing his lawn, headphones blasting rock anthems, sweat soaking his faded t-shirt. His property bordered a narrow strip of HOA managed grass, which he'd mowed out of habit, a small act of neighborly courtesy. That simple choice lit a fuse that would burn down the HOA's corrupt empire. As Jack stowed his mower, Ethan, the self-appointed HOA security chief, stormed across the street. Dressed in cargo shorts, a too-tight tactical vest, and a neon yellow cap screaming, "Security!" He looked like a mall cop playing soldier. Clipboard in hand, he was a caricature of authority, ready to wage war over trivial ties. Jack yanked off his headphones as Ethan unleashed a tirade. "You're not authorized to touch HOA property," he bellowed, jabbing a finger at the mowed strip. Jack, bewildered, explained he was just keeping it neat, but Ethan's face reddened, his chest heaving with exaggerated fury. Before Jack could process the absurdity, Ethan unholstered his pistol, brandishing it like a wannabe action hero. Time slowed. Jack's instincts screamed to run, but he stood his ground, hands raised, anger surging. His wife had already hustled their kids inside. His brother-in-law, Lucas, a county SWAT commander, watched from 2 houses down, phone pressed to his ear, eyes narrowing. Ethan oblivious us to the gathering storm, ranted about citizens' arrest for vandalizing HOA grass, spitting half-remembered lines from cop shows. Jack, unable to resist, deadpanned, "Oh no, the sacred sod!" Ethan's rage flared, but the street erupted. 2 SWAT trucks screeched to a halt, officers spilling out in synchronized chaos. Lucas's voice thundered through a loudspeaker. "Drop the weapon!" Ethan's arms sagged, the gun falling as if it burned his hand. "Down now!" an officer barked. Ethan collapsed, zip-tied and whimpering about. "Duty!" his bravado reduced to a pathetic squeak. Neighbors emerged from their homes, phones out, some cheering, others gaping. An elderly man across the street slow-clapped, his grin wicked. Jack shot Lucas a thumbs up. Lucas shook his head, half smirking. The SWAT team's focus shifted to a pristine model home down the block, the HOA's headquarters. If Ethan was pulling guns over grass, the rot ran deep. Jack chuckled, glancing at the fateful strip of lawn. Only in Maple Grove could mowing spark a war, and he had front-row seats. The HOA headquarters, with its fresh paint and cheery blue door, hid a bizarre fortress. Jack joined the growing crowd of neighbors behind a police perimeter as Lucas's team approached, wary. Inside, Claire, the HOA president, paced before a whiteboard scrawled with nonsensical maps, marking violations for crimes like unapproved paint colors or subversive lawn ornaments. Her security council, a quartet of board members, sat around a table cluttered with radios, tasers, pink violation notices, and a poster proclaiming Operation Neighborhood Dominion. Claire, in an oversized navy jacket with a crooked star pin and a VY-ators perched on her forehead, strutted like a dictator in a thrift store costume. To her, the HOA was a sovereign nation, and dissenters were traitors. Claire slammed her clipboard, declaring a red alert. Con Vwine said a government conspiracy targeted her, Republic. After eavesdropping on police chatter via an illegal radio tap, she rallied her followers for a siege. Her plan? Barricade the house, arm themselves with pepper spray and modified garden tools, and hold the line. Reality had long since abandoned her. Lucas, observing through binoculars, muttered about cartel compounds being less deranged. A tip from Claire's junior officer program had exposed months of stockpiling everything from VY Nigar spraying leaf blowers to stolen police gear. Inside, Claire ordered barricades, show VYing filing cabinets against windows and sketching absurd flanking diagrams her team barely understood. One member, Tim, timidly asked about real police. Claire scoffed, claiming asylum under HOA sovereign codes. Pure fiction. Her followers nodded, too scared or foolish to argue. Lucas planned a non-lethal breach, flash bangs to disorient, rapid entry from 3 sides. Speed was critical. Claire's group was erratic, not tactical. Claire armed her soldiers with leaf blowers, paintball guns loaded with frozen ammo, and a rake taped to a broom. She donned a backpack stuffed with unknown supplies and clearance rack knee pads, ready for her imagined war. As Lucas's team moved in, the air crackled with tension. A battering ram splintered the door. Flash bangs erupted, blinding and deafening. Claire's crew collapsed screaming, tripping over chairs in a chaotic heap. Claire dove behind the table, shouting incoherent orders, only to be yanked out by officers' stifling laughter. Neighbors roared as the army was paraded out, zip-tied and defeated. Claire, clutching her clipboard, a VY-8er's askew, vowed to return. Tim, tear-streaked, mumbled apologies. The crowd chanted, HOA, HOA, mocking their fallen regime. Jack whispered, checkmate, Claire. As dusk settled, Lucas's team cataloged the madness inside. The garage, dubbed the Strategic Resource Center, held stolen HOA funds, camping gear, and an alarming number of zip ties. A bedroom, Operations Command, was plastered with maps marking rebel homes for offenses like mismatched curtains or a cat-shaped mailbox. Fake IDs and shoddily photoshopped special officer badges littered a table. A drawer overflowed with unissued fines for unpatriotic gardening or substandard holiday lights. Claire had extorted thousands, funding personal luxuries. A closet stuffed with stolen police pepper spray escalated the case to organized crime. News vans swarmed, reporters dubbing it a militarized HOA rebellion. Jack, correcting one live, said, "It started with me mowing grass." The anchor faltered, neighbors laughing. Claire, in a patrol SUV, ranted about suburban uprisings and her homeowner democracy. A teen sold HOA freedom shirts. An old man waved a flag, demanding Claire's exile. Floodlights lit the street like a crime drama. Lucas's team uncovered camouflage pajamas labeled Midnight Sweep, and resident files flagging anti-HOA sympathies. Charges piled up: embezzlement, theft, impersonation, extortion. Lucas told Jack it'd take a year to process the paperwork. Morning brought calm. The headquarters, cordoned off, stood as a hollow shell. Federal agents and auditors arrived, setting up a forensic lab. Neighbors gathered, festive with chairs and lemonade, kids daring each other to peek. UVY Denke exposed Claire's scheme. HOA dues funneled to fake companies for security training, bankrolling her vacations, designer clothes, and an absurd gnome collection. Receipts showed private jets, armored golf carts, even a tactical retreat to Hawaii. Security footage of Claire's tic-tac-toe, battle plans, and Tim's hose-based arrest training drew crowd laughter, played on a loop. Mowing for freedom. Shirts spread, Jack's quip a rallying cry. The media frenzy exploded. Jack's interviews went viral, memes of Claire's downfall flooding the internet. Prosecutors eyed wire fraud, obstruction, and more. Claire faced decades, with plea deals unlikely. Jack, the accidental hero, was elected interim HOA president at an impromptu lawn meeting, despite his protests. Neighbors shared stories of Claire's tyranny, fines for decorations, harassment over shrubs vowing a transparent, kind HOA. As twilight fell, a Freedom Lane banner hung between trees. Jack toasted with coffee, savoring the peace. The final blow came at the headquarters auction, turned into a neighborhood festival with bounce houses and grills. The auctioneer, in a cowboy hat, sold Claire's security, gear leaf blowers, fake badges for laughs. Jack bid $1 for the house, winning to thunderous cheers. That day, neighbors gutted it, erasing Claire's legacy. By evening it was Claire's Folly Dog Park. A plaque reading, "In memory of petty tyrants." Dogs romped, music played, families laughed. Secret recordings of Claire's threats, leaked online, sealed her fate, ensuring decades in prison. At her sentencing, the neighborhood threw a party, fireworks, a dunk tank with Claire's cutout, and a plaque. Freedom costs some more, a raid, and patience. Jack watched kids and dogs under the stars, knowing some fights, however absurd, build something worth keeping.